What's cracking?
Well,
It's been a minute.
it's been a minute. We took a, I'd like to call it a spring break.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we're back with Danny and Rochelle React to all things
yeah,
F1 and life. So I'm
yeah.
excited. Well, I told you this, like F1, it relaxes me. So,
I don't get it. I don't understand how it relaxes you, but you know what I mean? To each his own.
well, well, the way I kind of think about it or rationalize it is the I sleep with a fan, and that's been ever since I was a kid, since I was a
Hmm.
baby. My grandmother, I guess, like put a fan over my crib, and ever since then I've been hooked. So I like white noise. Like even if I'm going around the house, if I'm cleaning, if I'm whatever I'm doing, I usually have my AirPods in,
Okay.
just listening to whatever. It could be a documentary, it could be, Anita Baker. I don't care.
Yeah.
So for me, hearing those cars go around the track is relaxing. You know what
Ah,
I mean? Like hearing the gear shifts and all of that to me. Even a pit stop to me, I could listen to that sound over and over again.
that's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
it sounds cool on TV. I can turn it down, turn it up as I want, but being there, I can imagine. That's one of the reasons why I've always said I'm not sure if I ever want to go to a Formula One race. I've never been.
Yeah.
If I have the opportunity to go, I will. But the thought of, I'm like, actually, that constant noise and not being able to like switch between scenes as they would, or switch between cameras as they would on TV. It's like, do I want to go to a Formula One race? I'm not sure.
Exactly. It'll be a little frustrating for me.
Yeah,
Yes. You don't get the whole experience. I'd rather watch it on TV. But
yeah,
that's but I watch
yeah.
anything on TV.
But yeah, shoot. What's all right? You probably know more than I do. I'm not gonna lie. Lewis Hamilton is my guy, and I've been super rooting for him and George Russell, and it ain't really been happening. They got this new update, and it's like, okay, great, but it's not great. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, they're behind Ferrari and Red Bull, but they're in it and they're not. So I've been struggling to, yeah. I didn't actually watch Monaco. I actually didn't watch it.
Really? I did.
No, I didn't watch it. I saw the highlights, but yeah, I didn't watch it. And yeah,
How would I describe this? I mean, it's not there's no like overtaking or, a lot of like position changes
mm,
in terms of that. But I think, especially since it had been raining earlier in the day, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like that kind of shook things up.
yeah,
I I will say it's not for me watching the races. It's not as I would say like on the edge of your seat type because
yeah,
bias notwithstanding,
mm-hmm.
I kind of get the feeling that the balloon is a little deflated.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and I
Qualifying was
may be
interesting.
wrong. See, and I didn't watch qualifying.
You didn't watch. I definitely watched qualifying. I was like, it depends where they end up. I was interested in that, but the race, I was like, they're gonna be stuck in. What did surprise me is finding out about Leclerc and the whole situation with the pit stop. That I was like, oh shoot,
Yeah.
that's a complete effort. But yeah, I don't know, kind of like the most exciting Formula One situation that could come about right now for me is if Mercedes are in it, if Ricardo, yeah, Daniel Ricciardo gets that together, and you know what I'm saying, and it's like Norris, Ricciardo, Hamilton, George
Speaking of
Russell,
which,
Red Bull, do you know what I mean? And
speaking of
Ferrari,
which,
everyone's in it. That's exciting to me. But if it's just Max Verstappen and Leclerc, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. It's boring. Like it's so
oh my
boring.
god! I mean, okay. Well, speaking of Danny Rick, there are talks that I think it's been on most of the F1 YouTube, you know, podcast saying that this might be it for him and McLaren, and I'm just kind of like, well, you can't really fault them, but it's really sad
Yeah, it really
to
is
see
sad.
how this partnership turned out, and you can never say shoulda, coulda, woulda. What if he had stayed with Red Bull?
Mm,
You never know.
yeah,
It's kind of like look at Russell signing with Mercedes, and now he's further up in the rankings than Hamilton. So
Yeah. That's also really awkward as well. You're like, we
you
all
never know.
feel it as Hamilton fans,
Yeah,
where it's like, Hamilton don't like this. You know what I mean? Rightly
yeah,
said, he keeps his cool, but we know like it's the silent, I don't know, the silent boogie person on every Lewis Hamilton and Lewis Hamilton's shoulder. Like, oh shoot, George Russell's driving really well. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
That,
okay.
with everything that's happened, I keep coming back to that every week. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's really looking, like a little iffy
Yeah.
for Lewis, but damn, you know.
I do think I'm starting to learn that it is about driving styles. Like I was watching something about Daniel Ricciardo. They were talking about Daniel Ricciardo's driving style, where I could be getting this wrong, but he's the kind of person that doesn't necessarily like to brake so late. That's more of a Hamilton thing, but he likes to brake kind of early, and then, do you know what I mean? And then kind of get a fast release into the but it's like, yeah, and I think the McLaren car and even the cars before when he was with Renault and stuff didn't necessarily allow him to, I don't know, drive in his typical way. So he's actually trying to drive in a different style, which I get. And I think also it's a similar thing with like Hamilton and the porpoise car, whatever. It's like he's used to driving the most pristine car.
Yeah.
And then when you look at Russell, he's used to making the best out of the worst situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think it's just one of those ones. And also, yeah, Lando Norris. It's like when you look at the times between Lando Norris and Ricciardo, you realize that actually what Norris is doing with like his turns and how late he's braking and how, you know what I mean, he's making most of his time.
I'm just looking at the results for Monaco right now based on what you're saying, and you are absolutely right. Like
it's how he's
right.
This guy is like, he trusts the car. It's like it's complete trust of the car that Norris has, and also I think Russell is just, he's used to driving a piece of trash, so he's got more, I guess, of a, I don't know, an affinity with driving something that isn't necessarily perfect. I think Hamilton is struggling with that.
Exactly. Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, you know what? After a certain point, you get kind of spoiled being, at the top of the pack. You have all the best equipment, all the best people, everything, is working in your favor, all the rules and regulations. You kind of like figured out how to make the equipment work for you in that sense. And then you have another driver that's like younger. Like he's gonna be more agile. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Me and Lewis are about the same age, and even though he's in top physical condition, after a while, you know what I mean? Like things might not, the recovery is not as fast as it was in your 20s. So you have Russell coming in and working with something that might not be as good as Hamilton is used to, but it's far better than what Russell.
Yeah, exactly.
This is nice. You know what I mean? Porpoising notwithstanding. I mean, even when all of that was an issue, he still kind of made it work. You know what I mean? In a very like weird way. He was very he understood not why it was happening, but kind of like how to figure his way around it. And I can really that.
Yeah. But I think as long as, for me, it's all exciting, I guess, understanding that, okay, Red Bull and the mechanics there are doing an amazing job, and Ferrari have got the ish figured out, and they've got an amazing team, and the car is great. But for me, I'm not watching Formula One to, I guess, pit mechanics against each other. I'm watching Formula One to see racing drivers compete. And when you just know you're watching a really good driver in a car that's not competitive, it's like, okay, well, you know what I mean? It's like, it's annoying.
Yeah,
this is annoying. It's just annoying. It's just like, can we? Yeah. And I thought, to be honest, they were talking about new cars and new regulations and stuff. I thought this year would be really interesting because it would make the field a lot closer. That's what he kept on saying.
Yeah.
And it didn't make it closer. I mean, it did, but it didn't. It did a little bit, but it didn't.
It depends. I don't.
Red Bull are still dominating.
I don't know. Did it make it closer? Because the best team, from the previous year is like, at the bottom of the what do you call it? The top. It's
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
how I mean
The
it
cars
seems
are
that
wide enough.
like all the regulations kind of were stacked against. Well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
All I know is that, I mean, one thing I did notice from the very first race was that oh, they're going to be overtaken a lot. Do you know what I mean? The
Yeah,
DRS
exactly.
is super powerful and they can drive a lot close to each other. And then there was that whole nonsense of like, it wasn't nonsense, but it was insane seeing Verstappen and Leclerc pass each other like 20
Hmm.
times. It was like, what? Okay, cool. And then
Yeah, this is new.
this is new. But what I thought would be amazing if it's like that has an opportunity of happening with like not just the McLaren, not just the Ferrari and the Red Bull, but with McLaren, with Mercedes, with, do you know what I mean? Alfa Romeo. Quick side note: Bottas is killing it in the Alpha.
Yeah, yeah.
He's showing his skill. So, yeah.
It,
And
it,
even with
it,
qualifying, I was like, let's make this interesting, but it doesn't. It's just I don't know.
I mean, if you look at, for example, the results from Monaco,
Mm-hmm.
Perez coming in, and there was some, I guess, I, I don't know, Jos Verstappen, Max's dad, was
Mm-hmm.
kind of a little peeved that his son wasn't given the best strategy for Monaco, and that Perez was. This is based on stuff that I'm hearing off of YouTube. But still, like
Okay.
these are people that spend their whole lives, analyzing Formula One. Like this
Mm,
is just, a hobby for us.
yeah.
And if they're saying it, then I'm inclined to believe it because they've said some things, and I'm like, really? And then 2 weeks later, it's announced by F1 that this is, what's happening.
Yeah.
But they're saying that he wasn't too excited about the fact that his son wasn't given the best strategy in order to win, and that basically it's kind of like they haven't really established a clear number one for the team.
Mm,
I'm like, oh, we already knew who was number one at Red Bull, but
yeah.
what does one win do? It's just
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's for me, it's obvious that Verstappen's number one. He just won a championship. Um, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. It's what it's so bad. It's just like when the other driver, when the number two driver is doing really well. So I mean, then the lines can get blurred.
Mm-hmm.
But all it really does is expose the number one's insecurities, or the number one's, I guess, the people that are around him, their
Yeah,
insecurities. Because it's great to have a great number two driver. It's actually a really good thing.
exactly.
So I well done. I've never driven a Formula One car before in my life.
Exactly.
I just want to see more competitive racing. That's it. That's what I
I
want.
agree. I agree. I mean,
That's literally it.
the for Mick and the crash again.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like he's kind of, I don't know.
Wait,
This
what
one
crash?
was
What crash are you talking about?
so. Which one was it that the car split in half? Wasn't that Monaco?
Oh, the Haas. That was Monaco. Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the race. I just saw I mean, I saw the picture and then I saw the replay of it. And I was like, oh, this car. It looked like nothing. It just kind of just broken. Like it was like the tap pretty much. It didn't look like a massive impact, and the whole back came out, which looked incredible. But that made me look at like, actually, what are these? How are these cars put together? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like this car came about really easily, and apparently it's
Yeah,
happened
but
before with
apparently
another car.
that's what it's designed to do.
Mm,
Is kind of like break away instead of what happened with Grosjean's car.
okay.
I don't remember what race that was, in the Middle East somewhere. But you
Yeah.
remember Man on Fire when the car
Yeah.
caught
Yeah.
and they kind of designed the car to kind of break away, I guess. Um,
Okay.
and to, when I saw it, I was like, I was a little shocked
Yeah.
because I saw the crash and then I saw the aftermath and I was like, this is
Doesn't make.
that
Yeah.
it is? It looks like a
Yeah.
top. But then after
Yeah.
I listened to the podcast, I realized I was like, oh, okay, it's kind of designed for that to happen. That makes sense.
Yeah. I think what's annoying about that though is that it just gives I guess officiating crew. Just, I don't like all these red flags. Like, I think
Yeah.
during qualifying, it's like, yo, that doesn't need a red flag. It doesn't need, I
Yeah.
think, who was it? Yuki Tsunoda like must have tapped the car. Like a little piece of like of the wheel came off or something like that. Red flag. Like, why are we red flagging the whole practice or
There
qualifying?
are a lot of them. There are quite a few red flags all the time. It's kind of like, well, to be honest, there's no safe way to, to do that. They have to like stop the race. They have to clear the track because when you look at the profile of these cars, how close they are to the ground, the least little thing could be a little pebble. It's like the French
Yeah.
over here. You know what I mean? Like the least little pebble is gonna throw everything off and probably cause another crash.
Yeah. You know, it's so interesting though. I think, follow me here. I think there's a thin line between being too negligent and being too safe. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think there was something exciting about watching Michael Schumacher's races, like watching an old Formula One, when it's like, oh, they're driving really fast and anything can happen, but you're on the edge of your seats. I mean, it's like, this is kind of dangerous, and everyone knows it's kind of dangerous. But the more safe they make it, it's like, yeah, this is kind of boring and predictable now. Do you know what I'm saying? If we're gonna, you know what I mean? There's a thin line. It's like, this is a race at the end of the day. Like, we can't be disputing every single pass. It can't be like, oh my gosh. It's like, does that make sense though? I think that's why Monaco is like, I mean, Monaco is just exposed that, because Monaco was a great track, but I think with the new rules and regulations, and also we have the size of the car and so on and so forth, but it's just like, they're just following each other around. It's about strategy. It's about, you know what I mean, the work that the mechanics have done in the car. It's not about the racing drivers racing each other, which is why I watch Formula One. So apparently they're going to take it out. They're thinking about taking Monaco out, the Grand Prix.
I mean, yeah, because when you think about all of the kind of leeway that Formula One gives Monaco, they realize now that they don't need Monaco. Monaco needs them.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of, for example, I noticed it even before I heard like people talking about it on YouTube. The day of the race, I was watching it and I was like, huh, isn't Rolex
Yeah, I was about to say that.
of F1? Like, it just hit me when I saw them going around on the turns, and I was like, I thought nothing else of it when I had that thought, but I do remember thinking, huh, that damn Tag Hero sign is pretty prominent.
Yeah.
And then the next day when I started listening to the recaps and they were talking about it, I was like, oh yeah, I did notice that. That is a huge difference. That's a lot of, like marketing dollars that have gone down the drain.
Yeah.
When they're not focusing on, the freaking start clock because it has the Rolex logo on it.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Man. You know, this goes to show like how much of this sport isn't just about racing. It's about so much more. It's about sponsors. It's about like the whole Miami thing was huge. It's like, the opportunity. It's like, but for me, I'm just like, what's the track saying? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that's all I care about. But when you think about it, it's like, it's huge for the sport. It grows the sport. And I guess with Drive to Survive becoming a bigger thing and American fans becoming a bigger thing, it's amazing for the sport. I think that's a great thing. But in my opinion, I'm just like, yo, is it going to be a good race? That's all I care about.
Come on now. There are people who went to the Miami GP that did not care about what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's interesting. It really is interesting now.
For the actual, race. They were there for the spectacle of it all.
Yeah. Oh, someone else I wanted to talk about. Where did he finish? Just checking. So, Vettel. And I was going to talk about Vettel in relation to Ricciardo, but just Vettel in general. So Vettel in the Aston Martin finished in 10th place in Monaco. I think that's his best finishing place, right? And for me, I remember when Vettel was dominating. Like, he was a dominant force. and he was the new golden child. And now he's in an Aston Martin. I love Aston Martin as a brand. It's a British brand. That's beside the point. I love Aston Martin cars. And when they joined F1, I was really excited. But that car is dog poop. And
It is trash.
it is terrible. And Vettel's an amazing driver. And I'm just like, his best position this year is 10th. And I think about him in relation to Daniel Ricciardo. And I'm like, I'm not saying the McLaren's trash, but it's like, it kind of goes back to wanting to see these racing drivers who have shown and proved that they're good racing drivers in a competitive car. Because I feel like it won't be long before Vettel without the sport. And I think that'll be so premature. I think he's not going to stick around. If he's in an Aston Martin that isn't making place, and where's he going to go to? I don't think he wants to go to, like, I think Gasly might leave. But I don't think he wants to, replace Gasly. Or, I don't think he wants to go to like a second.
Yeah.
No,
not at all. Not at all. And, now they're talking about possibly freeing up that, other seat at McLaren and what that's going to look like. And I know there are a lot of people who want Pierre to, finally get out of AlphaTauri and see what he can do, in the Red Bull seat. And I can't say I disagree with them. After, I love Danny Rick. I love Daniel Ricciardo, but it has been a rough year for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
rough
not
2 years.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if at this point, I don't know if they're willing to take another year and say, okay, let's see what happens. Because that's potentially, a couple of spaces they're moving up.
Yeah, he's gone. If he don't improve like drastically moving forward, he's going to be gone. I have no doubt about it. But what's sad about Daniel Ricciardo has always got this smile on his face, like, hey guys.
I know.
He's such a great, cheery guy. He's always got jokes. He's got the shoey. He's got all that stuff. And I just know that ultimately the sport is harsh. A lot of sports are harsh. Like even NFL and even like soccer or football, whatever. Like it's all the same things. Like we love these players. We fall in love with them within a certain uniform or playing for a certain team, and then lo and behold, all of a sudden they're gone, just like that because they're not. They're not performing. And it's like ultimately, it doesn't matter how great of a person you are. Not to me. I think being a great person is paramount of importance. But it just seems like in the business of sport, yeah.
Pretty much,
yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, look at it with what's his face? What's the he who shall not be named? That's gonna talk about how Haas owes him $10 million.
Who?
Because they fired him. What's his face? Dude from Russia.
Dude from Russia. I'm blanking. Mazepin. Oh yeah, I forgot about Mazepin.
I know, right?
Shall not be named. I actually forgot about him. I was like, Mazepin. I wonder what he's doing now.
I know, right? I really do too. Like, what's going on with that? Like, hold on, stick a pin. Now that you said that, what have you heard anything about what's going on over there in the Ukraine?
Nope. I don't watch the news, and so I'm sure there's updates and stuff. But
I don't either. However, I do like keep abreast with the highlights.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, I have seen zero. Well, then but America got its own problems. Yeah. So that's probably why we're not seeing anything. But it was kind of like it was huge news for a minute. What, did it just stop? Like it just not keep no more? Like what happened?
I feel like it's the same with COVID. It's like, it's like, hey, here's a bit of issues, and some might call it propaganda in your face. Blah, 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 blah. This is what we want you to focus on, and then it's like, okay, what's next?
Nothing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I would love to know what he's doing right now. Like, is he just chilling?
He's probably strapped up. Do you know what I mean? With boots, army. He's probably fighting in the water. He's probably not.
You know that man. He was not going out there to fight nothing. He's
Driving a
probably
tank.
laying by a pool somewhere, enjoying a nice tall drink,
Yeah, with
nice
Putin.
cold glass of vodka.
That's it
Please.
with Putin.
But it's crazy to think that at this point in the game, when you look at the standings, right, no one is really, there's not really much to be surprised about for the rest of the season. You have your top four, well, actually, your top five, but I really don't think Mercedes is gonna
do anything.
So you have the Red Bulls and you have the Ferraris.
Yeah.
So you know what's coming. It's either Red Bull or Ferrari, am I right?
Okay, so let's see. So we got Verstappen up top, 125 points. We need to check our fantasy, by the way. I haven't looked at that. I forgot that even existed. But anyway, 125 points for Verstappen, Leclerc 116, so he's in it. Sergio Perez 110, he's in it. George Russell 84. That's a big gap, though.
Exactly.
That's a big gap. 84 exactly. George Russell. I'm happy there.
84. Come on now.
And then Sainz 83, and then Lewis Hamilton with 50. What kind of like what? 50 points. Okay, that's like what? 75 points away from Verstappen. That doesn't make no sense. That literally makes no
discouraging.
sense. Yeah.
It's
discouraging. And then Lando Norris 48. Valtteri Bottas 40. That's so mad. Valtteri Bottas left Mercedes and is 10 points away from Hamilton in the driving. Doesn't make sense. He's gone to Alfa Romeo.
What I mean, he has to look at the decision as one of the better decisions to not drive in that car this year. You know what I mean? He has to be like, well, they did me a favor.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. He's driving the ish out of that car.
Yes, he is. And so he should. He should drive the hell out of that car.
What engine is in the Alfa Romeo? Oh, it's a Ferrari engine. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jeez. Okay. Bottas, yeah.
Fantasy. Hold on. Okay, so you have 1,173.
Okay.
I have 1,006, and Ola has 824.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I need to check. I need to actually look because I haven't looked at it. I did get really lucky with my picks though. I think I had Sainz, Leclerc, Perez, and George Russell on my team, right?
Where did it go? I just had it. Oh, here it is. Let's see.
Who I got on my team again? We'll try and bring it up here, but it's just gonna be long. I have to sign in. Ugh. Don't want to sign in.
I don't know why it's not showing me your team. Perez, Russell, Leclerc. What is that?
Jeez. What's the password? All right, cool. Save that, motherfucker. How do I get on here?
Standings. I still have not figured out how to use this goddamn thing. It's a shame. Prime shame.
I don't know how to get onto it. This F1 website needs an update.
I feel like when my mom used to call me to ask me to help her work her phone. I'm gonna have to call Alex and be like, "Can you come figure this out for mommy? I can't get it."
This is crazy.
Not user friendly at all.
Not user friendly at all, and it doesn't make sense.
If anyone from F1 Fantasy ever comes across this video, like, could you please do some, I don't know, user analytics or something?
Okay, wait. So I've got my team up now. Can you see your team?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so my team, I've got Perez, Russell, Leclerc, Alonso, and Sainz. That's insane.
Okay.
And then I've got AlphaTauri as constructor.
Okay. I have Bottas, Perez, Norris, Leclerc, Hamilton, and
Okay.
Haas.
And Haas. That's not bad though. That's not
That when none of the damn cars don't finish the race.
bad. Wait, say again. Who you got again? You got Norris?
I got Bottas, Perez, Norris, Leclerc, and Hamilton.
Okay, Leclerc got shafted. Hamilton, yeah, mad.
Yeah.
Norris, I love Norris though. I think Norris is driving the ish out of that McLaren car. You
Yep.
said Perez. Perez is doing great too. I mean, he's doing great, but sometimes he messes up. And Bottas is doing great too. So I think,
Yes.
yeah,
I got
it's
52
any given
points for
Sunday
him.
basically.
Like he was my, top producer this for Monaco.
Who?
Bottas.
Yeah.
I got 52 points for him.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't know. I might have to change my car though.
What, the constructor? See,
Yeah, I might.
who have you got again? Haas.
Haas.
Yeah, you got to change it. I know you. I know you're trying to be.
I was trying to be, very optimistic, but Jesus Christ, like.
Yeah, you got to change that.
Every week it's like a different. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. You got to change that. It can be any team at this point. Alfa Romeo. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Alpine. Pick anything, but just not.
You gotta go like that. I was really trying to be optimistic and generous in my selection and kind of like spread it out. And since I, very conservative with my choices in terms of drivers, I was like, let me just kind of throw caution to the wind with the constructor. That was not a good idea.
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
But there's still time. Obviously, there's a lot of races left this year. So yeah. I saw a video of Lewis Hamilton yesterday. He's in London. I mean, he's from London, but yeah, like if you go on his Instagram, but like he was on like the train. I mean, like the popular London Underground train at night.
Okay.
But yeah, had his hood up. You gotta watch it. I was like, if I knew he was out and about, sometimes he's jogging around. You see him jogging. I'm like, I would love to catch him slipping, just like, and start jogging with him. Like, that'd be so crazy.
That would be crazy.
But yeah, no, he's a proper cool guy. That's someone
he
to
lives
look
in
at.
Monaco, doesn't he?
Inspired by. Yeah, I think he lives in Monaco, but he's always. I mean, obviously, the nature of his job, he's all around the place.
Yeah.
So he lives in Monaco. I think he's got a place in New York as well, just from watching his Instagram. And I think he's obviously got places in London also. So I would love to live a life like that, where I can just travel around the world.
It's coming. The power of manifestation.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, it's coming.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, all of these things, that we're working on, and kind of when the passion ignites and all that good stuff. If we stay the course, I think these things will pay off.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident in that.
Yeah.
I know for myself, especially going through, Wonderful House and all of the challenges that we've been on, knowing that I have, kind of that foundation of peace is everything to me now. Yeah. I don't get like bogged down with all the little things that I used to. I don't have the numerous panic attacks I used to anymore. And I'm just kind of, trying to figure stuff out, but on my own terms. And as bleak as it might seem to me right now, because I'm not used to being in a position where I'm not like financially, set, like I'm not sure where I'm going. I've quit my job and I'm like, trying to make this whole writing thing work and trying to get these shows, optioned. And I'm not panicked or worried, which usually I would be freaking out. I'd be losing my mind.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of just like, no, it needs to work out.
Yeah.
Like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I'm going to finish the book. hopefully I can get, a writing job on one of these shows, and things will work out. Like,
Yeah. Stay the course. That's honestly, that is literally my life right now. I guess I got to, I mean, I've been doing this solely creative thing for a little while. And I got to a point where I was like, no, I need to do a job just to earn extra money. And I picked up this job and I hated it. I was verbalizing like, I hate this. And I realized I was just doing this job just for money because I was afraid. Do you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I'm realizing, fear is stopping me from living a life. You know what I mean? And so I was like, you know what? Let me have the courage to just trust my instincts.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, I'm done. And I had, money was low. I was like, I'm done. And this was recently. And it felt great because I backed myself. But I still had this kind of like, ooh, I'm being bad. You know what I mean? Like, there's like a, ooh,
yeah,
I'm in trouble. I know I'm in trouble. It's like the way of the world. You know what I mean? It doesn't like people that doesn't succumb to, you know what I mean, the pursuit of money. But I think, when I trusted, you know what I mean, something higher than my fear, things just started coming. You know what I mean? It's like I think Will Smith said it, where he's like, eventually the universe will get out of your way. Do you know what I mean? Eventually, things will just get out of your way, and I think
things will happen.
Yeah, I just trusted that, and still trusting it.
Exactly. That's what I'm doing, because at this point, like, if you look at people who have been successful and doing what they're passionate about, at some point there was like a tipping point, where it was kind of like it could go either way.
Yeah.
If they give up at this point, then it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. And if I'm honest with myself, there have been times, where I have been on that path to where I wanted to go, but I know now that I was not prepared. I wasn't ready. Couldn't have handled it. And I'm glad now that things have fallen into where they are, and I can kind of just breathe my way through it. 2 years ago, I would not be sitting here talking to you. Not to like put it on Instagram. That just would not be me. So yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. But that's powerful though. That's powerful. And to bring it back to Formula One, still I rise is Lewis Hamilton's quote. And still we rise, isn't it? Because I mean, it's actually Maya Angelou, but he has it in his album.
I rise, I rise, I rise. Like Oh, not to get messy after Maya Angelou, but did you happen to hear about all of the drama that went on behind the scenes after Monaco? Like all of the arguments between these men and their women.
No,
I
what's
was
that?
like, why is F1 kind of feeling like the Real Housewives of somewhere to me? It's like the Real
Housewives between the drivers?
And okay, so apparently there are cheating allegations. I'm sorry to bring it up, Sergio. After the GP, he got a little friendly with some of the women at the party, and it was caught on video. And his wife just gave birth a few, I guess, weeks or months
Oh man.
So yeah, it was. There was after the race. It was like, wait a minute, what is this thing that just popped up on my Twitter about Sergio Perez? And I had to dig deep into a Reddit post to kind of piece it together. Then like the day after, I was like, well, damn. And he, I guess, released a statement on his I don't know if it was Twitter or his IG, saying that, they're solid, and that anyone that wants to hate on their relationship, like, whatever, it was the whole thing. But I was just like, that right there is way too much alcohol. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He was so excited about winning that race. He clearly consumed a bit too much alcohol and got a bit too touchy-feely. And yes, as a woman, I'm very upset for his wife. I feel, terrible that this has happened. I cannot even imagine being
Yeah,
in that
it's
situation.
yeah. I can't imagine either. I can't imagine the stress and also
How
yeah.
embarrassing it is. Like, it's one
Oh
thing
man.
for things to happen. Let me tell you something. It's one thing for things to happen when no one knows about it.
Mm,
Okay. It's another thing when everyone,
yeah. Everybody.
and this is coming from someone who has no fame, no notoriety. I don't even have friends. So I cannot even imagine how mortifying it
Yeah.
is to be going through this in front of the entire world for both of them, not
Yeah.
just for her, for him.
Yeah. But but it's life. And that
It
sounds like a
is.
mad thing to say. It's like I feel like we put a lot of pressure on these celebrities to be
Mhm.
moral and you know what I mean? Like be straight. And I look at Lewis Hamilton all the time and I'm like, how are you so clean cut? How do
Thank
you not?
you.
How do you keep
Thank
yourself
you.
together? Because it's like it's almost unhuman. Like it's almost
Yes.
unhuman. It's like, dude, you're not gonna break ever. You're gonna
You're not
be together.
upset.
Keep okay.
Just a
All
little
right,
bit.
I respect it. I respect it, but I feel like a Will Smith slap moment is gonna come from Lewis Hamilton at
Yes.
some point because we're human. We're human. We expect. Do you know what I mean? We expect these celebrities to not be human. It's like, okay, cool. Your wife just had a kid. Cool. You've just won a Grand Prix. Amazing. You're around women and alcohol. It's like, my thing is, if you know yourself, then I mean, you either don't want to be in that situation,
Mhm.
get that, don't go there. Do you know what I mean? I know you want to celebrate, but don't be around these women and da 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 da. Or know yourself and have the strength and wherewithal to just, do you know what I mean? Like keep your ish together. I'd rather be the person that's like, you know what, I know I know what I'm like. I'm gonna get tempted. I'm not going. Do you know what I mean? Then be like, nah, I'll be fine.
I completely agree. However, I have to also play devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would. This is his first time, having this experience.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good look. I'm sure
Mm.
it's not his finest moment. He's not proud of it, but he's also human,
Yeah.
and the air is to be human. Like he have to make this mistake to know that Well, the thing about it is this, right? It happened.
Mm.
Can't take it back. Now, if it happens again,
That's
then
what
we
he
have a
was there.
problem.
Yeah. I think there's a lesson to be learned here. And I think, I agree. And kind of coming off your point as well, it's like, okay, so now it can't happen again. You know it can't happen again. So be honest with yourself. If you win another GP, can you go to another one of the parties and be okay? You know what I'm saying? If
No,
you can, cool.
but this begs the question. Like, if he wins another GP, is his wife well within her rights to say, "Yeah, I ain't going"? Sorry, fire.
I don't know.
You gonna have to call him and say, "I'm sorry, but I gotta miss this one."
Yeah, that's it. But I think there's something. There is something. Yeah, I don't know.
Because
She
you
can be
played
like that,
yourself.
but I think ultimately restriction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely
It
not gonna
doesn't
be the
work.
one to tell you not to go. Like,
You
you
know what I mean? Don't go is like,
if
all
it
right, cool,
happens
I won't
again,
go. But you know what I mean? If you want to go,
it shouldn't have
then
happened the first
you know.
time. And I forgave your ass the first time. I said,
Yeah.
okay, I understand, like, the circumstances. I understand, this is the first time. And I don't know, maybe it's not the first time. Who's to tell?
Yeah.
But if it happens again, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you this. The reaction is going to be completely different. And then you cannot complain about how I am now reacting to something that I've told you is a problem for me.
Oh my days. Oh my gosh. I don't know. Oh, here's a question. And this is a genuine question. I thought about this and no shade, but this ain't nothing to do with shade, if I'm being completely honest. I'm just like, I see after Lewis Hamilton with Nicole Scherzinger ended, it's like, yo, Lewis Hamilton ain't really been out public.
Been in a relationship.
Yeah. And I'm like, he's the man though. Like he is like, he could get with, you know what I mean? There's a lot of women.
It's funny, I've never thought about it. Like,
but here's another thing I was thinking. He's really like, for Pride and stuff like that. I'm like, and also, did you see the thing he did for the gala? I think I forgot what it was called, but like there was like a gala and he invited a lot of like LGBTQ people to be a part of this. I don't know. He's got a lot of designers. It was amazing, but I don't know. I'm like actually looking at. I'm like, could he be gay?
I don't think so, because I just Googled it. It says Camilla Kendra is the rumored girlfriend of the great F1 racer Lewis Hamilton. This report was May 17th of 2022.
Is it?
Pretty girl.
Let me see. What's her name?
Camilla, Camila Kendra. She's really nice. Got me see some myself. And I'm not gay. So
Camilla Kendra, yeah. Hey. And Lewis Hamilton. I want to see them together.
she said I want
to see him next to this is like it's rumors, isn't it? I want to see him. Okay.
Oh my god. Oh, that's the best laugh I've had in a while.
Yeah. I just feel like, because I don't know. In my mind, I was like,
I don't see no pictures. You say if it's not on the gram, it didn't happen.
Right, yeah, it's not real. I want to see them together. It's not real. Otherwise. But I don't know. I think Lewis Hamilton is like, he's like peak. Not peak, but like he's the guy right now. Even though he's losing, he's been the guy.
Yeah.
Like everything he's doing and how
he's
how he's keeping himself together. Hey, controversial opinion. Maybe he's able to be so cool-headed because he ain't got a woman in his life. Ooh.
But I was thinking the same thing. Like maybe, the reason why he's able to devote himself to his, mental well-being and his career and all of his endeavors is because he's not in a relationship and he doesn't have to be obligated to somebody else and somebody else's needs. Not having to support someone else emotionally it's actually it frees up a lot of time. And I'm speaking from experience. Like I remember being married took up a lot of like energy just mentally, the mental space to say, I have to like make sure that someone else is good. And the minute like we separated, it was kind of like, whoa. I said I didn't have any time. You know what I mean? Like the minute that relationship ended, I was like, oh damn, this is crazy. Yeah. I always thought it was having a toddler, that was taking up so much mental space. And it was like, no, she actually enhances the experience. Like she keeps me on my toes. Alex is always asking about London, about Cheza, and about her uncles and her aunts, and her cousins, in Cesarojo. And she's always, every day she talks about someone else, and it just reminds me to stay in that space.
Yeah. So
like, it's crazy how much energy you devote to a relationship.
Yeah. Adulting it's a massive, like when I was young, I wanted to become an adult so much so I can have independence. And I realized actually when you become an adult, you want to go back to child. Like it's so mad. It's like
it's the worst hood I've ever lived in. Okay.
Yeah.
Adulthood is the worst hood ever.
It's literally mad. But Mikhail said this thing I thought was really powerful. He's like, it's interesting how children bring us to like a playful state. As soon as everyone, doesn't matter who you are, how stiff you are, if you see a child, it just makes you go, hello. You know what I mean? You become a kid again. And you become, you reconnect with the imaginary and anything's possible. But when we're adults, it's like, oh, we have to, lines, da, 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 da. And me and you together has to be strategic, and I'll do this and you do this, and then we'll figure it out and tie a knot and be happy. It's like, that's not how life works. Do you know what I mean? Life will come and slap you upside the head, and it's like, shoot, now we got to deal with this. Like, you can't plan for the unpredictability of life. And this had nothing to do with Formula One, but we're here now. And I think it's just like, it's just like
the thing is, I think too, it's not just it's not just having a partner, but it's having the right partner as well. Like I think, it's for him. He might have come to the realization after that high profile relationship ended, to say, maybe I need someone who is, because Nicole Scherzinger is fantastic at what she does. And why should she have to give up her blossoming career because
Yeah.
you know he is phenomenal at what he does? You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's kind of
Yeah.
like, even though they're not on par, because I mean he is Lewis Hamilton, but she knows what he goes through on a day-to-day basis in terms of like fame and the demands of the business and all that. They still aren't in the same lane.
Yeah.
It's not like he's with a singer-songwriter who's also passionate about Formula One, and that's what she does as a hobby. You know what I mean? Or like he's with a movie star and she's also like completely into F1, and when she's not on set, she's watching a race. That's not, I don't think it was that type of relationship. So I think you have to be with someone who kind of grounds you and who kind of knows, not knows exactly what you're going through, but is able to empathize with the fact that, maybe today I can't speak to you at all and I can't text because I'm, in a simulation. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I would have no idea. Like I would like,
Yeah.
I don't even really like light-skinned men like that. I'm not gonna lie, if he was looking my way, I would definitely look back.
Like, that's one light.
Over the years, he has gotten quite fine. Like, when I was younger, I did not find him attractive at all. Then over the years, I'm like, oh damn, okay. Right.
Yeah, no, it's mad. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But all I care about is this Formula One Formula One season becoming a bit more competitive. Just to bring it back.
I don't know if that's. I honestly don't know if that's gonna happen. And I say that, not trying to be, Debbie Downer or anything, but when you look at the point standings for Monaco, right, and you see that, first of all, Russell is doing so much better in every single race.
Yeah.
At 50 points, there's no like, come on now.
How many races are left?
How many? Good question. Before I start talking crap.
So, okay, we got Azerbaijan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Am I counting this right? Oh, 1 second. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 races left. How many races have there been? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's been 9 races. We're almost halfway through. I mean,
what do you think, conservatively, for the end of this season? What are we looking at in terms of like driver rankings?
I think if Max Verstappen and Leclerc have a few DNFs, then we're good. If they have a few DNFs or no points races, then okay.
I respect you for throwing that out there.
But otherwise, if they keep performing as they're performing, top 3, top 4, even top 5, it's just like every race, which is more than likely. Yeah. I need to see some DNFs on the side of, you know what I mean? Like, I need to see some DNFs or some no pointers, or like 1 point. I need to see Leclerc and Max Verstappen finishing 8th, 9th. If that's not the case, it's out of the
I mean, from your lips, and not to wish downfall on anybody, from your lips to God's ears, but I don't see that happening. Yeah. I honestly don't see them. I see a lot of like DNFs in Haas's future for some reason. I don't know why. I'm feeling very discouraged by, I'm definitely a little shook by all of this that's unfolding back there. But at the same time, like, I really feel like the cars are even though they had those issues in the beginning of the season, the cars are actually really pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
Haas notwithstanding.
Yeah.
So unless it's like, tire issues, which those look like they've been doing pretty good too. I haven't really heard anyone complaining about, the tires.
I mean, they do complain a little bit about like the wear and managing tires and stuff like that. I do hear that a couple of times, but they seem to manage it quite well. There's no like exploding tires like last season.
Exactly.
I just want to see Toto Wolff and Christian Horner at it again. It's annoying that Verstappen won the championship in the way that he did, and there's no sort of like let's get him back type stuff.
Yeah, that is
it's like, you're not even competitive. Let's not talk about it. We can ignore you. Do you know what I mean? It's annoying. It's very annoying. But we'll see. We'll see as it goes along.
We shall. I'm excited. I'm not gonna lie. I am really excited to see what unfolds and what it's gonna look like. I think in previous years we kind of knew exactly what was gonna happen, and now with all of this upheaval and the fact that we have Max battling with other people other than Lewis, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
I miss seeing Lewis in the front of the pack. I do. But at the same time, it's kind of like I'm not counting him out, and I know Mercedes isn't either, and this might be a throwaway season, but I'm hoping that next year, if that's the case, if at the end of the season we're looking back and we're saying, well, damn, this was crap, at least we can say, well, let's see what's up for next year. I just want everybody to make the season okay.
Another thing I want to add real quick as well, I'm realizing that for me, it's not just about seeing Lewis up there. For me, it's also about seeing someone black up. That's what it's about for me. It's like, okay, cool. Okay, if Lewis Hamilton ain't competitive, can we at least get a new driver in? Do you know what I mean? Maybe if and when Ricardo goes, they bring in a new rookie driver and he's black and he's like killing it. Can we just get, do you know what I mean? Can we get some diverse? I'm tired of seeing a bunch of white faces. You know what I mean? In the podium.
You know what's crazy?
It's just
my
like,
cousin, she does not watch Formula One, but every now and again she'll come across something and she'll ask me a question. She asked me a few weeks ago, what happens if Lewis Hamilton retires or stops racing? Like, are you gonna stop watching? I was like, why? Because he's black? She was like, yeah. And I was like, honestly, I don't think I'll stop watching, but I think for me, it'll feel like a big part of the sport is missing. But at the same time, I don't live in the fantasy world to think that we're gonna get another black driver anytime soon. She's like, doesn't that frustrate you? I'm like, yeah, it frustrates me. But what the hell am I gonna do? I don't have $100 million to go put in a team. That's number one. And number two, when you look at the demographic of people who can be exposed to Formula One, it's not, black people aren't at the top of that list. I was like, even in Jamaica, like the junior Formula One driver that Jamaica has is not phenotypically black. They're Jamaican, but I'm pretty sure he's like a white or Chinese Jamaican or something like that.
Oh, is it?
He's not a black Jamaican. So at the same time, it's kind of like, well, even I had to say to her, I was like, Anna, like, look at it this way. Even if, you open the pool, like you're still not gonna get what you're hoping for, because look, just a perfect example is the Jamaican junior driver. He's not phenotypically black. He is a Jamaican, and the Jamaican motto is out of many one people. So if this driver, happens to do well in the upcoming years and gets into Formula One, am I not gonna be enthusiastic because he's not black? Hell to the no. He's Jamaican first.
Yeah.
And that one thing I can say about being Jamaican, I didn't know I was black until I came to this country of the United States. I didn't realize it. It wasn't a thing for us. Like, yes, skin tone is a thing because kids are gonna make things a thing. But being black wasn't like a problem for me. Like it was never discussed, so it was jarring having that experience. But I'm gonna be Jamaican first because that's how I was brought up. So I'm not gonna put that thought in the back of my in the forefront of my mind to say there's nobody black so I can't enjoy it. If that's the case, I'm not going to enjoy a lot of the stuff that I watch on TV. I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, true. I totally get you. I think what's also on my mind is I know that Lewis Hamilton was pushing for like a race in South Africa. I'm like, but yeah, that would be amazing. That'd be great. I know that, like, yeah, it's kind of mad to me. A lot of like sports
You
don't
imagine
really.
something that goes around and you can see like tabletop mounted in
Yeah,
the back. Oh,
yeah,
oh, it's giving me
that'd be
life thinking
crazy.
about it. Oof,
Crazy.
yeah, that would be amazing. I've entertained dreams of hosting Formula One race in Jamaica, like
Is
making it.
it?
You know, you listen. If
Mhm.
Jamrock, when Jamrock becomes a thing, like
Yeah.
and when I'm able to produce Dreamer and all that stuff,
Yeah.
like I will pitch that idea because I know
Jeez.
exactly where I'd want the track to. I don't know. I feel like for kids to see that, like in their environment and be a little bit more tangible for them.
Mm.
So yeah, races in South Africa and in Jamaica
Yeah.
and
Make it
maybe
happen.
like Atlanta, Georgia. It's important.
No, that needs to happen. That needs to happen. At least for when, you know what I mean, when your kids and kids get older. You know what I mean? It's like when they're older and when they're adulting. That'd be
Yeah. I mean, think about it. How awesome would it be to have like kids from London be able to have Silverstone closer? Because
mm.
it's quite far.
Yeah. It is. It is quite far. I think it's like a 2-hour drive. It's not yeah, it's far. It's not that far, but it's far.
It's far. There
Yeah.
are kids that live in communities that don't ever leave the boundary of that community.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's good for them to see it in their environment. It makes a difference. I'm
So
speaking.
much. Shout out Lewis Hamilton or Anthony Hamilton. Is that what's his dad's name? His dad's name Anthony.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Anthony Hamilton, because that's
Is
my
it
husband's
Anthony?
name. Yeah.
Wait, Lewis Hamilton's dad's name is Anthony Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
Like the singer.
Why did I never ever think
I
about
never
that?
put the two together.
Hold
One
on.
second. What comes up when you type in Anthony Hamilton? What, this is so random. I was like, what?
That is hold on. Yes, that is his name.
Oh my days. No one ever, you know what I mean?
I have
That's
never
so
ever
mad.
put that together.
Yo,
You saw my
on
face, I
that
was like,
bombshell,
hold on.
that's crazy. Yep, I never put it
That is
together either.
crazy.
But
Oh, sure.
shout out Anthony Hamilton, Lewis Hamilton's pups for
And the singer. Love me some Anthony
yeah,
Hamilton,
and the
boy.
singer.
Come
No
home to me.
relation, or maybe there is.
Darling.
But yeah, no, it's like it's so important what he does. It's like, look, what? It almost seems unreal. Do you know what I mean? Had he not done that, there would be no Lewis Hamilton. Had he not
Bro.
sacrificed and quit his job, you know what I mean? Wait, did he quit his job? He did a bunch
He
of
didn't
stuff.
quit
He
his
done,
job. He worked like 3, 4, 5 jobs to make sure that they could afford the repairs to the car and get to the races. And like his stepmom was like, he talked about it in interviews.
yeah,
And his stepmom was like so on his racing patches. And I'm like, yo,
that's insane. That's almost like, I mean, it's
talk about
divine.
investing in your kids, man. Like that.
Ordained.
There are people. I'm thinking about
Amazing.
starting about doing On Rhythm again, the interview show that I used to have, and like kind of like broadening it out and making it about movies and television, like how people, how it aids them in their spiritual journey. So I might tap you to be a guest on my show.
Okay.
But I say that to say this: if I ever get to like interview people, and that's one of the things that I would really love to do, not in like an Oprah type way, but a really impersonal type, I would like to interview the people in the background, like Anthony Hamilton,
Yeah.
like his stepmom, who am I thinking about? It was just on the tip of my tongue, like a Kris Jenner. I know people have a lot of stuff to say about that lady, but
Yeah.
when you talk about putting your kids first,
Yeah.
I don't care if you're talking about but if they're asking you to make them a commodity, right? To make them the most successful entrepreneurs on the face of this planet.
Yeah.
And you, as a mom, can support them in a way that gets them to like billionaire, not just one kid, but 2 kids a billionaire with others on the way.
On the way, yeah. It's amazing.
That to me is fascinating because it means that she had a deep belief in her kids.
It's beyond. Sometimes I think it's beyond belief. When I think about what Anthony Hamilton did, it's not just belief. It's like, I believe in you. It's beyond that. It's like a knowing. It has to be. This is gonna work. Do you know what I mean? It's like and there's nothing. That's like, I think I was listening to a podcast today and it was talking about the difference between vision and sight. And it's like vision is seeing that which you can't see, and sight. You know what I'm saying? It's like I think that vision that he had and believing in that is so inspiring, and that's kind of like that's what I want to. You know what I mean? Live my life in ode to. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to live my life in accordance with that kind of, you know what I mean, mentality. So yeah,
I just want to have the same belief in myself as he had in Lewis. That's it.
Yeah.
Because I think that transferred to his son. Like the belief, Lewis has, like a strong sense of self and a strong purpose. And I think that has all to do with his parenting style, with his dad's parenting style. I think he parented in such a way that, and it's funny because I was actually just researching this for my book for Jamrock about attachment styles. And there are like 4 types of adult attachment styles. And it's like, hold on, anxious, avoidant, disorganized, and secure. And these behaviors in adulthood all come over from like how you were parented as a child and from your past experiences. So if you have a parent who's, say for example, like a little removed, that you can't really express yourself emotionally around them, you're not really allowed to cry or like complain, you have to kind of be strong in your convictions and not really show emotion, it creates an adult who's has an avoidant attachment disorder. And it's basically like that was actually me before Rodolfo House. I would not be able to kind of connect with people on that level, and I would not want to be open about my feelings, and I'm more quiet, more reserved, more nervous in social situations when there's a large group of people, because it's kind of like out of my control. And I was kind of looking into like what creates a secure, adult. And it was literally paying attention, reinforcing, good actions, like, maybe not in words, but in actions, supporting what their dreams are, supporting what, their questions about life. When they ask the question, not immediately shutting them down, but kind of explaining the process. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, because it gives you a strong sense of self to say, as long as I have the information, I can process it and I can get through it. So it makes sense.
100%.
Because he showed him through his actions, like, I believe in you. Because I'm sure Lewis knew as a very assertive child, like, listen, I'm from a background that I might not have all that I want, but at the same time, I have a dad who's like breaking his neck to make sure that I can do what I love to do.
Yeah. Special. So special. And that's why I want Lewis Hamilton at the top of the pack again, because he can't go out of this. He can't go out of this. But yeah. This has been fun.
Yes, it has.
We back at it again.
Yes. I will see you next week. And folks, thank you so much for watching. And please like, share, subscribe. And we will see you next time. All right.